Alright guys, welcome to a new video. Today's video is going to be on this 2004 Yamaha YZ250F. This is actually not my bike. The guy that had me work on his 400EX dropped this off because he said he was riding it and it locked up on him while he was riding it. So he wants some work done to it. I'm not sure why it locked up. I don't know what the problem could be. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Trying to diagnose what could have caused it to lock up. He said that he got it back home and then got it free actually. So it does turn over right now. You can see. So it does turn over, which is good. So it's not completely locked up, but he said it kept on locking up on him. So I don't know if he started it up again and it locked up again, but I know that he got it unstuck and that's where he kind of gave up on it. So I guess we're going to dig into it and see if we can find something wrong with it. But yeah, the VIN right here, you can tell it's a 2004 because you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the 10th letter on the VIN is a 4, you can see right here. So you go over to the chart on my phone and it matches up to a 2004 if you look. Here is the chart right here. So if you look right there, 4 is 2004, 5 is 2005. So you can kind of tell what year it is from that. But yeah, this thing is carbureted. Just a standard carburetor in there. I think it's completely stock. It looks like the stock exhaust on it as well. And yeah, I think everything's stock on it. It's a pretty nice bike. It's got the black rims on it, which is pretty cool. Graphics are pretty cool on it. Very clean looking bike. It's got Renthal bars. Newer grips. Yeah, very clean, in great shape bike. So I don't know why it would have blown up. We can probably check the oil first and make sure that's all good in there. Don't think there's a dipstick on here. Just see how far down that oil goes. The oil looks pretty clear. We'll have to see how much is in there. I guess we can check the coolant. Make sure that's good. So at least there's some oil in it. Let's see what the coolant looks like. Coolant's topped off in there. What could have caused it to seize up here? I'm gonna kick it over a couple times just to see if I can feel anything kicking it over. Feels pretty smooth in there to me. Very strange. Alright, where should we begin? Alright, so let's start with the spark plug. Let's take a look at what that looks like. You can get in there. Spark plug's right at the top of the cylinder right here. Let's take a look at that. That'll kind of tell us how it's running. If it's really white, it means it's lean. If it's black, it means it's rich. And usually things seize up when it's lean. So if the spark plug's white, that'll kind of tell us that it was running lean. And that would be why it kind of seized up. But let's start with that spark plug. Go from there. I've got my camera. We can stick down the cylinder as well. So we can check that out. See if there's any scratches. See if the piston's chewed up or whatnot before we start digging into it. Take a quick look at the air filter while we're in here. Air filter looks good. Nice and oiled up. Not super dirty. Yeah, that looks fine in there. I don't think that's why it seized up. Alright, that's a little better. Let's try to get that spark plug out now. A little more access to things. Still, it's a little complicated to get in there. Lots of wires and stuff in the way. Ah, there we go. We'll have to see what kind of socket fits down there. It feels like that might be the fit right there. Alright, we got the little bend in there now. Oh, where's the spark plug? Oh, there she finally came. Oh, spark plug actually looks pretty good. Nice and brown. Wasn't running too lean. It's like the perfect color. That's very interesting. Pretty rusty though. Looks like it was an old spark plug. But yeah, that looks good. Let's stick a camera down the cylinder and see if we can find anything. Alright, we got her down there. You can see the piston right here. Alright. Piston doesn't look too bad. It's hard to tell what's going on. Let's see if I can push it down a little bit further. No damage to the top of the piston at all, that I can tell, that I can see. Doesn't look like the valves were hitting it at all. It's kind of hard to get past down here. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad to me at all. So I think we're going to take apart the top end and just check it out. Alright, let's try to get this cam cover off first. Looks like there's two Allens right here. A couple breather hoses at the top. A couple Allen bolts holding that cam cover on. Sorry. Camera action. Cam cover coming off. Can she come out without taking off anything else? Aha. That's good. Cam chain's nice and tight. Guys, the tension here is good. Let's put this thing at top dead center and check those valve clearances. I have a feeling they're going to be tight. You can see in there, it looks pretty good. Cam chain, about a millimeter of slack in there. That's perfect. Everything looks really good. Cam sprockets are nice and sharp. Alright, let's rotate this over. We gotta find top dead center down here. Ooh, leaking a little oil. Get the little cap off right there. Alright, and then we'll look for top dead center in there. Where is top dead center at? We'll see if it's timed properly too. guys can see the T in there. There with the line next to it. Alright, that's top dead center right there. Let's check the valve clearances up here. I have a feeling it's the crank causing this problem. Crank bearings. Just a feeling. Alright, we're gonna look up the valve specs on this and then check those clearances. Alright, so the specs looks like intake is 0.1 millimeters to 0.15 millimeters. Exhaust is 0.17 millimeters to 0.22 millimeters. So let's check the intake first. We've got it set to 0.1. That one's fine. Hard to get in there. That one's fine. Alright, now the exhaust. The exhaust is 0.17 to 0.22. Find the 0.17 millimeters. Right here. See what that looks like here. Then we'll do the exhaust. That one barely fits in there. That one's kind of tight. That one's pretty tight. See if I can get one in here. That one's fine. That one slid right in. Yeah, so the right exhaust is tight. Everything else looks fine. So we'll continue to tear this thing down. Alright, we got this thing at top dead center. Check out the timing here. It looks pretty much spot on. We've got the one dot right here, one dot parallel to the head, and then you've got the one dot right there and the one dot right there. So that's vertical, vertical, parallel, parallel to the head. So that's looking pretty good. So timing spot on. Let's get these cams out of here and see if it's easier to turn over without the valves, because maybe it's just that tight valve causing the problem. Highly doubt it, but never know. Let's get the cam chain tensioner off first. That's out of there. Those look good. Very smooth. No scratches. That surface looks smooth. No gouges or scratches. No imperfections at all. Let's take these cams out of here. That cam's coming. Intake cam. Intake cam bearings feel good. You can see the sprocket looks nice. Lobes are nice and round and good. No square spots. So that feels pretty good. And out. There we go. Surfaces all feel good. Bearing feels good on that one. That mechanism right there for decompression works. Lobes look good. Like I said before, bearing feels good. So I'm not seeing anything yet. I'm going to try to rotate the engine over by just holding the chain right here and see if it's easy. Oh boy. Nope. It's like getting locked up still. So it has nothing to do with the valves or the cam. So let's dig further into it. Coolant drain is down here. So let's do that first. And then take off the pipe. And then we've got to get off the carburetor, mounts, coolant lines, and then we can take off that head. Alright, here's the coolant drain right here. I'm gonna try to catch it all in this container. Hopefully I can. Thought it's spraying everywhere. There it comes. And we'll open the cap and there we go. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take the pipe off next. We'll get that off. I'll do that off camera, and then we'll come get the carburetor off, all the hoses, and then we'll get to the head here. Alright, carburetor's out of the way. Got the mount off. Got the pipe off. Just need to get that oil line off right here. Alright, time to get the head off. Looks like 12 mils right there. Oh man, those are on there. I need the breaker bar for that one. Whew. That's on there. Those are torqued down. Just a couple bolts. So those right there we have to get off. Alright, we got those little nuts off that were right there. There's 2 Allens in there, one right there, one right there. We gotta get off. Alright, everything is off of the head. Let's attempt to get this thing out now. Oh yeah. Cam chain out of there. Head is off. You can see all the valves are there. Looking pretty good. So valves look good. Nothing I can see wrong with the head. Check out the piston. Top of the piston looks good. We kind of already saw the top of the piston from the camera, but there's a better view. Yeah, nothing wrong with the top of the piston. We'll rotate the engine over here and see what the cylinder looks like. Alright, let's take a look at the cylinder wall here. See if we can rotate this engine over. Oh, it's pretty stuck, but as far as I can see, the cylinder looks immaculate in there so far. So, yeah, that's pretty stuck. It won't turn over anymore. So, let's try to get this cylinder off next. See if that'll come off of here. I don't know if it's bolted down by a couple bolts or what. Oh yeah, there's one bolt over here holding it on. So we'll get that off, and then we'll see what's causing this problem. Moment of truth coming up here. Alright, let's see if we can get the cylinder off now. A little rubber mallet action. There we go. Don't want to drop anything down there. Alright, cylinder looks perfect. No scratches on that bad boy. So obviously the cylinder wasn't the problem. Check out the piston here, see what the rings look like. Rings are all loose. Uh-oh. That means the crank is probably going to be the culprit here. See how the rings are loose. No blow by really on the piston. Too much. Alright, let's see if it turns over here. Oh yeah, it turns over nicely. Let's see. Oh, no. Getting caught on something here. Oh yeah, the crank bearing right there, or the rod bearing, is tight. You can see it's not moving at all. Check that out. You can see it's not moving with the piston. Should be loose on there. See how it's moving with the crank like that? It should just be coming up. So, yeah, that's a bad rod bearing. That's not good. And you can see the discoloration right here. So it got really hot. Let's see if I can turn it over a little bit more. I don't think I will be able to. Break it free. There we go. You can see how purple and blue the color is right there. That part of it got really, really hot. And it just bound those bearings in there. So, yeah, that's toast. She's toast. That's why it sometimes came free, because the bearings in there are really tight. Yeah, she's really tight in there. Get a little oil going to them. I want to see if we can see what the bearings actually look like. thing's pretty tight. Yeah, that's not good. That is not good at all. So this thing needs a new crank. Trying to see the underside of this thing. Yeah. Well, that is the culprit right there. Good thing we tore it apart. Now we know. Since this isn't my bike, I'll have to ask the owner what he wants to do with it. A new crank install is going to be pretty pricey. So a lot of people, what they do when the crank goes bad on these older 4-stroke bikes, like the 250Fs, they usually part it out. And with this bike, you've got a really good cylinder, you've got a really good head, all the cams are perfect, pipe is perfect, all the plastics are perfect, the bottom end I'm sure is fine, so you could probably get more parting it out than trying to rebuild it. And that's what a lot of people do at this stage, because they don't want to pay someone $1,000 to rebuild it, plus another probably $700 in parts. New crank, new bottom end seals, new bearings, probably new piston rings, new top end gaskets. So it adds up pretty quick once you have to split those cases. We'll ask the owner what he wants to do. But yeah, that's the video for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have a problem with your bike locking up periodically like that, and then freeze up and then locks up, it's most likely the crank. I had a Honda 400EX do the same thing, where it would lock up, run again, lock up, run again, and it was that rod bearing in there as well. So there's not too much you can do about that except look for a new crank and split the cases. That's really the only option you have at this point. So anyway guys, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Hopefully you learned something on this video. I know I always do, digging into these things, so it's always a fun little mystery. So anyway guys, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for the next video on this thing hopefully, and until next time, we